misdemeanor site.
10-4-12. Welcome to Law and Order Bucks. I'm your host, Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran. Every corner of Bucks County has a story to tell. Sometimes a story of resilience. Sometimes a story that chills us to the bone. Sometimes a story of government not being able to get out of its own way. Here, the forces of law and order are constantly at work, often behind the scenes. Join us as we delve into the gripping realities of crime and justice in our community. We'll explore the hidden worlds, the difficult decisions, and the unwavering commitment it takes to maintain law and order right here in Bucks County. Hello and welcome to Law and Order Bucks, BUX, and I am your host, Sheriff Fred Harran. Episode 12. They just keep going. We're gonna have to do something for episode 100. We're gonna have to do something special. But episode 12, here we go. We've had a lot of great feedback. I know everybody really liked every week. They tell me they liked the week before. So maybe we'll have to do the top 3 episode and bring back people after we get to episode 100. But today we are going to be talking about something that the sheriff's office released yesterday through our newly formed nonprofit. And with us, you're going to be hearing from a very good friend of mine. I've known you, Kelly McGinty, from Penn Community since you were with Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick, right?
Yes. In fact, so long that I am now Kelly Boyle.
Kelly, Kelly Boyle. It still says Kelly McGinney on your name tag, but I still call you McGinty.
I'll always be part of the McGinty family for sure.
That's true. And Kelly and I go back a long time, and she's always been involved in public service. And we're going to hear from Kelly in a few minutes and a little bit about what she does at the bank and how our paths crossed again after so many years. Well, that's not exactly true. Our paths always cross at different events, but just recently, what a fantastic thing she and her bank are doing and are groundbreaking with us. But I'm going to take you back to 1993 real quick. In the words of Franklin Valley, oh, what a night. It was late June back in 93. What a very special time for me. All right, I'm getting carried. See, this is my theater stuff coming out again. So I'm going to take you back to 1993, and Bill Clinton became president of the United States. And Bill Clinton put a lot of money into policing. Probably in my 10 years, my 39 years in law enforcement out in Bucks County, he's probably been the most police oriented, if you will, as far as putting money and things like that and support into law enforcement, especially at the local level. And President Clinton really invested in community policing. And in Bensalem at the time, we started a unofficial police athletic league with like 60 some odd kids. And I can tell you, when I left in January of 22 to come up here, Bensalem was at about 1,280 kids at no cost to the taxpayers. And in 93, we were just doing it for maybe 6 weeks during the summer. We were doing a basketball league. And when I left, again, over 1,200 kids, 12 months a year, all year long. So it really took off. And when I came to the sheriff's office, it was something I wanted to do. I wanted to take a PAL. But in Bensalem, I could only stay to the confines of Bensalem. But in Bucks County, in the sheriff's office, I can go from Bristol Borough to Quakertown, which you've heard me say that expression so many times. And one day we're talking, Kelly and I, and Kelly said, yeah, let's do a PAL. And we wanted to do boxing. I wanted to take it old school for 2 reasons. One is Bensalem never did boxing. 2 is I wanted to get back to Chicago PD, Philly PD, New York PD, LA PD. I wanted to take Boston PD. I wanted to take back to old school. And Kelly just got the ball rolling. She took it and I couldn't keep up with her. I was like grabbing onto her, the back of her jacket and trying to catch up to her, and there was no catching up to this woman. But we're gonna come back to what happened. But Kelly, can you do me a favor? Can you tell our viewers who you are, a little bit about your background, and what you do now for Penn Community?
Sure. So Kelly Boyle, formerly known as McGinty, as we've established. So I worked for Congressman Fitzpatrick for quite some time. I was in charge of all of his corporate,
Mike.
mixing roles. I'm corporate social responsibility now, but I was constituent services related then. So I handled everything from social security issues to IRS issues to much larger issues like Americans being stuck in foreign countries. So definitely a wide range of skill set and opportunity that, experience that I learned throughout that. Always have been very fortunate to have jobs where I am able to help the community, participate in projects with the community. It's really a passion of mine. I don't know that people get to do their dream job, more than once. I feel like I have on a couple occasions. Most recently, I'm at Penn Community Bank, and there I'm a manager of corporate social responsibility and government relations. So I get to kind of combine the two of my loves of, making change within the community from a corporate social responsibility wise with contributions from our foundation, and then also in advocating for things that really impact the banking industry and our community as a whole.
Oh, fantastic. And like I said, Kelly is definitely a community go-to person. Not that I want to keep her all to myself because I would like to, but listen, if folks have great projects or things, or just dealing with Penn Community is a great community bank. You can reach out to Kelly and all the crew. I get to live next door to the Bristol Borough Penn Community, which is a beautiful bank. I love going in there. It doesn't even feel like a bank. It feels like you're coming home actually to do some banking. But so when I told her about PAL and we wanted to do boxing, she says, I've got the place for you. Johan Boxing and Promotions on Street Road. Now I have passed that place. I can't tell you how many times when I was in Ben Salem going to Doylestown. I'm like, what is that? I just thought it was a boxing ring in there, but it is so much more. And we started this partnership, and yesterday was our kickoff. We actually been in operation for this is week 3. We have kids Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We have 2 groups, 12 to 14 and 15 to 17. And right now we're doing boxing for 30 kids, and we're hitting communities like Langhorne, Morrisville, Yardley, Southampton, Bristol, and Ben Salem. And the boxing just doesn't teach boxing, as we know, Kelly. It teaches self-discipline. It teaches, leadership. It teaches, working with other people, believe it or not. And it's healthy. It's a healthy activity. It's a positive alternative activity. And it gets them into positive relationships with law enforcement officers. And that's something we've been trying, for years. And since the Bill Clinton days, since we first started in 93. But this is the first time the sheriff's office, and this is only the second PAL in BUX County. And Ben Salem being the first and the only one up until yesterday, which there is a, I guess, not to quote an old saying, but there's a new sheriff in town. We wanted to expand it and really take it countywide, and that's what we're doing. And thanks to you, Kelly, and some of your partners there at Penn Community, we got a very sizable donation to get this thing off the ground, and off the ground it's got us. We've also opened up a nonprofit. Kelly, can you talk a little bit, since you're more of the money person than I am, since you're on the board as well. We have the Bucks County Sheriff's Office Community Outreach Partnership. Maybe you want to tell people how they can get involved or donate.
I think that, more so, this is something that was created, took a year and a half, I think, for us to get to this point of putting all the pieces together and making sure that all the ducks were in a row, and making sure that this was a program that could stand the test of time and could absolutely continue from one administration to another in perpetuity. So, I think that building this and allowing for this to be something that is not a tax dollar program, that this is something that is going to help at-risk kids to prosper within our community is just kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm getting the address now because we got so much moving parts here. But people can certainly donate or reach out to us here in the sheriff's office, and they can get that information. We'll get it up as well, part of the podcast. But I think we see so much more vision for this, and it's just not going to be a PAL. So we're going to use it to help fund our canine program here, other programs. I met with someone this morning. I don't want to mention the organization's name, but I met with a CEO this morning about doing some donations here. And they were very receptive to something that we need desperately. So I feel very comfortable that's going to come to fruition. But we're out in the community every weekend, Kelly, as you know, we're at kid identifications. We're at all kinds of community events every single weekend. And now we've got we'll have what's it called? It's National Night Out. Oh my God, I lost it. National Night Out coming up next week. So we're going to be all over the county at National Lights Out. But this PAL and this new formation of this nonprofit, and we have room for some people on the board. It just can't be anybody. We have a group now of 5 of us, and certainly we just want to make sure we get the right people that can help us raise money, people that want to really give back to the community, because it's not paid positions. Everybody's volunteering. And I don't know how many groups you volunteer with, but I know it's a lot. So these are, I don't know how much more I can take up your time, but I certainly appreciate you, getting this off the ground with us. And I'm hoping this PAL expands as big as the one I came from, and we go 12 months a year. I'm hoping to do Phillies games with the kids, and there's some people. Bucks County is a very unique county. There are some people just living a good life, and that's great. That is fantastic. But some people are struggling paycheck to paycheck, or not making it at all. And I want those kids to get the same opportunities as every kid, and that's why this was born. This PAL. That's why we did it in Bensalem, and that's why I did it here. The good thing about here is you and I, Kelly, now have reach across county, and we have other people on our board. I won't mention their names because I don't know if they want me to mention their names. So I didn't even check with them before this aired or before we went to taping today. But there are some other folks on our board, and out of respect for them, I won't mention their names, but certainly people have a way of reaching out to me, or you can get in touch with Kelly Boyle at Penn Community Bank. And if you're interested in getting involved, but our address is P.O. Box 121 in Doylestown, 18901. P.O. Box 121. It's going to be hard to forget. 121 Doylestown, Pennsylvania, 18901. And checks could be made out to BCSOP. BCSOP, the Bucks County Sheriff's Community Outreach. So this is a great partnership that we have, and I can't wait for the programs to come out. And there's nothing bad about this. And PAL has an expression because every kid needs a PAL, and that's true. They are our future leaders, and we've got to give them the tools to become good citizens. Because, folks, the old saying, kids should be seen and not heard, that's what, my folks said to me. Kelly, I don't know about you. You're a lot younger than I am. But, that's just not the days. Kids do question. Kids need to be part of it. And I think we forget about that. We are, I don't want to kind of tip our hand, but the Bucks County Chiefs will be starting a new initiative in September, I'm pretty sure. And it's going to be like no other that I know of. It's going to be fantastic. And we got it started here, and I think it belongs with the Chiefs, and that's where it's going to go. But, I like doing this stuff. I like every day coming to work, coming up with, meeting with people, not me, coming up with new programs, because the idea is that people that come to my office and saying, hey, come on, I want you to meet Joe Harran. And all right, I didn't know anything about Joe. And now I'm like, we're doing a fundraiser. I'm waiting for him to lock in a date for PAL. We have a PAL fundraiser also September 10th here at Chambers. I am going to be a guest bartender with Dom Giordano, the big talker. So Dom Giordano and I are going to be guest bartenders at Chambers on September 10th from, I think it's 5 to 7. Don't be giving me any crazy drinks to make. If you want to order a vodka with club and I can give you a twist of lime, don't get crazy now. But we're going to have a lot of fun with that. And I'm excited to see where this PAL goes. And I really would encourage any of our listeners to give us ideas and also to give us some money, because money makes it happen. Right now we have you and Johan that are two big sponsors. We have other grants out there right now. We have some other projects in the wind that we're working on with some other big corporations. I can't announce any of this stuff till it's actually done, until the ink is dry on the paper, and it's not fair for me to take the announcement away from the businesses that are doing this stuff for us. But we got a lot of things coming up, and it's going to be a crazy couple of years. I can't wait to see how far we go. My goal, I don't think this is any secret. I'd like to get to 100,000 by the end of this year, and I think it's possible. I think we've got one on the books. We've got another fundraiser. It's going to be huge. It's going to be an amazing fundraiser if we get this all together. And I think we're 95% there, so I don't think it's going to be hard to pull it together. But this is going to be good, and your bank does a phenomenal job.
$1.2 million last year out into the community,
Wow.
which is
what kind
pretty
of
amazing.
thing, Kelly, tell our viewers, what else have you guys get involved with at the bank?
Oh gosh, we've gotten involved with everything from, family service and their homeless shelter to Habitat for Humanity, and their, strategic organizations around affordable housing. We helped 244 organizations last year over a 5-county reach. So it's pretty exciting. Like I said, I've always been really fortunate to do jobs I love, and I get to wake up every day and say, how can we help today? So it's pretty cool. And I really love, you mentioned about, connecting the two organizations. Sometimes it's really not about what we can do monetarily, but we can make those connections. People are coming to us and talking about projects, and we can make those connections between the community people that can get things done. So sometimes it's just about that.
It's funny. I think of a story my wife told me this morning, and I'm running the story in my head. I'm like, maybe I should check with her before I tell that story. Maybe I have to come back to that one about getting things done. But, yesterday or 2 days ago, some of our officers, our deputies were down. We have a scope unit. It's like a community outreach unit, and they're going to be reaping some of the benefits from this nonprofit because they're out in the community all the time. And we were at the homeless shelter, Kel, and you were talking about homeless shelter just now, run by Family Services. Does a phenomenal job down in Levittown near where the new government center is going to be, where the old one is now. And I met a guy, and I think it was his wife, but they had 4 children, just became homeless, 2 weeks ago. And the guy is just, I talked to him for a few minutes, and he's just a great guy. I mean, just a nice, genuine human being. And his kids were well behaved, and we were giving out with Rodney from Salute to Service.
Rodney Wyatt, another one of my buddies.
Rodney is out there, and I got to get Rodney on.
Yeah, you do have to get Rodney on, because Rodney helps veterans like nobody I know.
But he does not just veterans. He helps everybody.
Everybody.
And I remember I wasn't, I'm bad. Sometimes I always tell people, text me 2, 3, 4 times, call me twice, because sometimes I forget. This is what happens. And Rodney, I guess he called me. I didn't call him back. I don't know how his path crossed with my wife, but my wife texts me and she goes, do you know Rodney? I'm like, from Salute to Service? Of course I know Rodney. Well, you better call him tomorrow, because I'm with him right now. And I forgot to ask her that night, what were you doing with Rodney? How did your paths come across with the company she works for? But I called Rodney that day. As soon as my wife told me, call Rodney, because I didn't want to hear about it. I was upset with myself for not calling Rodney back. And then she's like, you better call Rodney. And I did. So now Rodney said to me yesterday, he goes, I'll just go to your wife from now on, because that's how I get a call back right away. I said, listen, my wife tells me to do it, I'm doing it. So
that's right.
I don't question her at all, because it's not going to be pretty. I'm just kidding.
No.
She don't give you a hard time. But Rodney,
There's so many
you know,
amazing organizations.
oh my
within
God.
BUX. There really are.
But you know, this family, the guy doesn't have a drive. Not Rodney. We're talking about the guy that ran into you now. He doesn't have a driver's license. Not that I don't know why, but he doesn't have a driver's license. So my folks, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but my guys have a way of kind of getting into the line at DMV. We're going to work to get him employed. We're going to get him a good job. There's no doubt. I'm in communication with this man, but they were telling us, one of the workers down there was saying they're in desperate need of men's clothing, adult men. And I wouldn't have, you know, you just don't think about this stuff.
Mhm.
So we have a fund, a community spirit fund, which now is going to be the nonprofit, and gave my guys some money today. They're going and they're buying clothes, brand new clothes. You know, people don't want people's used clothes. I don't care what kind of shape it is. You know, it's nice to have clothes with tags on it. You know,
Mhm.
it's nice. It's just nice. It helps your self-pride, your dignity. You know, I know sometimes those secondhand stores or the kids like it. It's fashionable to wear some of that stuff. I get it. But so we're going out and buying brand new clothes for folks, and getting it down to to family services, also some sporting equipment for some of the kids. They were playing with a deflated football. So we're going to go and not family services said, hey, we have other stuff. They just didn't ask for it, but we're going to make sure that they have whatever they need. Family services does a phenomenal job. You know, I always tell everybody in this county, how do I say this? If you're going to have a problem, Bucks County is the place to have it because they
So
have
many resources.
great
Right.
resources. And you know, I've said this 100 times, even though I have arguments with commissioners and stuff like that. They are great. You know, Diane and I go back a long, long time. Diane Marseglia, and you know, she's a good problem solver like this, and big with you know, the social service stuff. And I give her a lot of credit. And Jean and Bob, you know, good partners for her as well. But you know, they get stuff done, and I'm glad that that's happening. And we have such great programs in Bucks County, so I'm very appreciative of that. You know, for a lot of people that need help, because you know, even after 39 years, I go home and I think for a minute, God, thank God, you know, God took care of me. You know, besides like my aches in the morning in my back, you know, which I guess if that's the price I got to pay for life, maybe. But you know, I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed with family, and I'm blessed with, you know, having a roof over my head, and you know, having health insurance and everything else. So it's nice to want to do something for people, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna, you know, we're trying to deal with the homeless problem in Bucks County, and there's so many agencies working on it. But I think our nonprofit, Kel, I think that's going to be able to kick in. It's not just about PAL; it's about a lot of other things, and I think you're right. We got to get Rodney on here. So I'm very excited about this partnership. Kelly, I'm gonna, you know, we've been going now for almost a half hour. I try to keep these things to 30 to 40 minutes. Some thoughts, any words for our listeners out there?
Oh, I just echoing the great leadership that we have in Bucks County. We have elected officials and community leaders and organizations that are so supportive of all of the needs of our county. We really are truly very lucky. That's not the same in all counties. And as someone who has, you know, done a lot of work within organizations, I've seen it firsthand for many years. And I just think that, you know, we have to invest in our kids. I think we have to invest in programs that keep our community stable. That's something we do at the bank every day. It's something that my whole job is developed around, is helping to keep our community stable, build a strong foundation, because strong foundations in communities, they alleviate a lot of these problems that, you know, are things that we need to struggle with, and community organizations have to find more and more funding for each day. So, you know, we need to tackle it from both ends.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I appreciate those words. And again, we're hoping people, if there's anybody out there who wants to write a check to BCSOP, the Bucks County Sheriff's Community Outreach Program. Please do. And it's P.O. Box. I don't even have to look at the paper anymore. 121 Doylestown, PA 18901. 18901. P.O. Box 121. Or feel free to reach out to me here in the sheriff's office, Kelly Boyle at Penn Community. And Kelly, thank you so much. And listeners, episode 12 comes to, I can't even keep track. Episode 12 comes to a conclusion today. And no more of my adoption story. My niece is coming up next weekend to spend some time with us. So that's exciting. And until next week, God bless you all. Little like blessing for you if you get involved with us, but God bless our county and our great nation. We need it now more than ever. Thank you, everyone, and see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us as we explore another aspect of law enforcement in Bucks County. To stay up to date on future episodes and gain further insight into the work we do, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about the Bucks County Sheriff's Office and the services we provide, please visit our website and be sure to download the official Bucks County Sheriff's Office app, available on Google Play and in the App Store. Join us next time for another in-depth look at law and order right here in Bucks County.